I've never done a video like this before. This is going to be a ranking video. I haven't done a ranking video before, so I'm intrigued to see how this goes. I did my top 25 movies of all time, and people kind of engaged with it, which was really cool, but there were some people who didn't seem to understand that my top 25 wouldn't be the same as theirs, and sort of didn't agree with it, which is fair. Like, it's my personal top 25 films. These are, you can do your personal top 25. That's fine. I'm not going to belittle you for that. So this, again, like I said, this is a ranking video, so I'm going to rank a pile of films based on my enjoyment I get from these movies. And as you can see, the title says Ranking John Carpenter's Movies. I am currently wearing a Thing t-shirt because I love John Carpenter's The Thing. So my ranking may be completely different to someone else's. I know that the first film, which would be at the bottom end, I assume would probably be at the bottom end of everybody else's ranking list, and where they would put it. So I've got 16 films. There's a couple that I don't have, like Memoirs of an Invisible Man and Dark Star. I don't own them. I used to own Dark Star on DVD, but it's just not a film that I really enjoy. You can see it's a very amateur movie, even though they did manage to do quite a lot for such a small budget movie. I find it very, very difficult to watch. I don't enjoy it, therefore I've not got it anymore. Memoirs of an Invisible Man, just can't get in the UK, and that sucks. So there's 16 films, and so this is my ranking from 16 to 1, as in what I would say were my favourite order. Like I said, you probably won't agree. That's fair. This is just my personal ranking. So, at number 16, which I believe would probably be on everybody's list as the lowest film, is The Ward, starring Amber Heard. It's not a great movie. It's watchable, but it's not top tier John Carpenter movie. Who wrote it? See, it wasn't written by Carpenter, and it has that feeling that it wasn't written by Carpenter. In fact, it was written by Michael and Shannon Rasmussen. I don't know them. And directed by John Carpenter. So it kind of feels off that he's called it John Carpenter's The Ward, even though, yes, he did. I say it feels off that he called it that. I know The Thing was not written by Carpenter, and the stuff that he hasn't written, he has put his name on. But, yeah, it's just not good. It's just a creepy sanitarium movie that were a dime a dozen. They were a dime a dozen around about the time this came out, which was 2010. I don't like Amber Heard. I've never liked Amber Heard, not even because of the whole Johnny Depp thing. She was in All the Boys Love Mandy Lane, which is one of the worst horror films I have ever seen. If my brother sees this video, he'll be like, "Oh, I knew you were going to bring up fucking All the Boys Love Mandy Lane." It's shit. I don't like it. She's annoying as hell in Drive Angry, and I just don't like her as a person. I just don't think she's a very good actress, which was clear during the court case. But yeah, I'm not a fan of The Ward. The reason I own The Ward is because, like I said in a previous video, that it's difficult to get rid of things that are ex-rental copies. So that's number 16, is The Ward. It's not good. Number 15 is John Carpenter's remake of a classic British science fiction movie. It is Village of the Damned. It's okay. It's alright. It does what it says it's a remake of Village of the Damned, which I also have the original here, Village of the Damned. Really cool. Classic old British science fiction, along with Children of the Damned as well. I believe this was made so he was able to finance another film, or it was made because he was signed to a specific, maybe I think it was like a 2 or 3 picture deal, which was this one, and I think one of the other ones that is coming up on this list. I'm not sure, I can't remember, but I do know he wasn't happy with this film, and it was sort of just like a job for hire director. It was written by someone called David Himmelstein, who I never heard of. I don't know if he's done anything else since, or whatever, whether or not he's done any other movies. But it's a watchable, serviceable remake of a classic science fiction film. It has surprisingly a really great cast in this. It was Christopher Reeve, who we all know was Superman. Kirstie Alley, who sadly passed away, I think it was a couple of years ago, and Luke Skywalker himself, Mark Hamill. Who else is in this? Linda Kozlowski, Michael Paré in this as well. Michael Paré is always a shit watch. So yeah, number 15 is Village of the Damned. It's okay. Number 14 is John Carpenter's Vampires. Again, it's an alright movie. It's okay. I find it more of a chore to watch than the other ones on this list. In fact, I actually enjoy the direct-to-DVD sequel, Vampires de los Muertos, with Jon Bon Jovi. I actually enjoyed that a little bit more because it has the same sort of feel of From Dusk Till Dawn instead of this one. But this is it's an enjoyable vampire movie. Good cast in it. James Woods, before he was I don't know, right wing or whatever his name is, whatever he was, or whatever he is. Daniel Baldwin, Cheryl Lee, Thomas Ian Griffiths, who is gonna. I wonder if he'll be in Cobra Kai season 5. Because Thomas Ian Griffiths is Terry Silver from Karate Kid 3 and season 4 of Cobra Kai. He plays the lead vampire in this. Really cool little cameo from Frank Darabont in this movie as well. It was weird because this came out around the same time. So From Dusk Till Dawn came out in 1996, and it kind of set off this little explosion in Mexican or not South American, Texan border with Mexico's border, sort of vampire thing where you had you had From Dusk Till Dawn. You had the 2 sequels to From Dusk Till Dawn, which were Texas Blood Money and the Hangman's Daughter, I think it was. Michael Parks was in the 3rd film as a Vampire Hunter. It's been a long while since I saw it. And Texas Blood Money, the 2nd one, had Bruce Campbell and Tiffany Amber Thiessen in the opening. And I want to say Robert Patrick. I can't remember. It's been a very long time since I saw it. But then they gave us stuff like John Carpenter's Vampires, and Vampires' sequel, which was De Los Muertos, or Vampires de los Muertos. And I think there might have been a 3rd one, I can't remember. But you also had films like The Forsaken, which was a road movie vampire film. But they all take inspiration from Catherine Bigelow's Near Dark, which kind of takes place around the same. It's again another sort of desert set vampire movie. But Vampires is good. I enjoy it. I just enjoy the rest of them a lot more than John Carpenter's Vampires. So number 13, and this film is just bonkers. It's crazy, straight up. This is exactly what you expect from a 1980s John Carpenter, not a 2001 John Carpenter. It's Ghosts of Mars. This film is bonkers. This is straight up in the same territory as Big Trouble in Little China and Escape from New York and Escape from LA, is where it's a fun movie, even if you don't take it seriously. It has some flaws, definitely has some flaws. The use of Pam Grier for about 3 seconds at the start of the movie is unforgivable. I love you, John Carpenter, but you need to keep Pam Grier around a lot longer. Ice Cube's pretty good as a character called Desolation Jones, who is in prison at a mining colony on Mars, and the Mars police force are sent to retrieve him because he's a criminal who is like a well-known criminal. And the police force that they sent is headed by Natasha Henstridge, who, I don't care what anyone says, we were all teenagers in the 90s. When we watched Species for the first time, that pause and rewind button when we watched Species just got worn down. And I've always loved Natasha Henstridge. I've always thought she was not only just was she really, really good looking, but I always thought she was a decent actress as well. She's good in the Whole 9 Yards and the Whole 10 Yards, the Bruce Willis movie. But this is pretty good. Jason Statham, this is kind of, I believe this is his this is definitely post Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels, but I think it might be pre The Transporter, before we actually saw Jason Statham's talents as a martial artist, which was in The Transporter. I think that was 2002, whereas this is 2001. But he's pretty cool in this. I think he plays a character called Jericho Kane, which is a badass name anyway. Yeah, I mean, it's enjoyable. Like I said, it's ridiculously stupid. There are ghosts on Mars. It's kind of a zombie vampire movie, but also not. It's just complete John Carpenter bonkersness from start to finish. So that's my number 13 pick. Number 12, and I think this is one that's going to piss off a lot of people, because I think a lot of people regard this film a lot higher than I actually regard this. But again, like I said, this is all just personal choice. It's not to say that this film is terrible in any sort of way. It's number 12 out of 16 that I've got, and you've seen the previous few. So no, I know a lot of people do love this movie, but for me, again, like Vampires, I do find it a bit of a chore to watch, even though I do enjoy it. There are moments, and well, I say moments, there are times where I'm watching it where I find myself drifting, and I don't think, personally, I don't think it's up there with the best of Carpenter's 80s stuff, and it is Prince of Darkness. It's an odd movie. It's an odd movie. It's very, very much of its time. Donald Pleasance, Victor Wong, who else is in it? Dennis Dunn from Big Trouble in Little China, and Jameson Parker as Brian. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I enjoy it. It's I find it more enjoyable than Ghosts of Mars and Village of the Damned and Vampires. But is it as good as the next film, which is slightly more enjoyable? So yeah, number 12 is Prince of Darkness. You're all going to laugh at me for putting this film above Prince of Darkness and Ghosts of Mars and Vampires. But this one, I love this film because it is just, again, it's a bonkers John Carpenter movie. Massively flawed. Absolutely stupid movie. But it's Escape from LA. Kurt Russell returns as Snake Plissken. This, again, I think was 1996, and this feels like a 1996 movie. The visual effects are astonishingly bad, but Kurt Russell is all kinds of badass as Snake. You also have Steve Buscemi. You've got Bruce Campbell. You've got Valeria Goliano as I can't remember her name in it now. You've got Peter Fonda as the surfing dude on the giant wave, the really bad giant wave at the end. And then you've also got Pam Grier is in it again. Pam Grier, love Pam Grier in everything. Cliff Robertson, Stacy Keach. Stacy Keach, the magnificent Stacy Keach, is in this movie as well. And it's bonkers. It is absolutely mental. Like, Escape from New York is a lot of fun, but there is a serious tone to it at points. Even though it has this sort of, like, comedic edge, but it's sort of like, not really, it's like it's the anti-hero action movie. It is one of the, like, quintessential anti-hero action movies. You're not supposed to like Snake Plissken, but you do because he's fucking badass. This is the opposite. This is just stupid, dumb, enjoyable John Carpenter action at its fucking finest, and I love watching it. I haven't watched it in a long while, actually, and as you can see, this is the only DVD I have, because I don't have this on Blu-ray yet. Now, this next, number 11? I think this is number 11. So we got, hang on, we can't work this out. 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11. This is number 10. Number 10. Number 10, I think this film is absolutely gorgeous. It's probably the least John Carpenter movie on this list, or that he's made. It has a fantastic score by who did the music by? Jack Nietzsche. Lovely music. Fantastic performances by both central stars, which are Karen Allen and Jeff Bridges. And it is Starman, which is a romantic drama science fiction film about an alien that takes the form of Karen Allen's recently deceased husband, and they have to travel across country to a place where Bridges' character can get picked up and return home. But it's all about how he discovers, or not discovers, but how he learns to be more human than alien, and the romantic story that develops between Karen Allen and Jeff Bridges' character while they're being chased across country by government agencies headed up by Charles Martin Smith and Richard Jekyll. It's a lovely film. There's nothing offensive in this movie at all. It is just a wonderful watch, and it's just a great film to watch. Like, it sits alongside something like Nick Castle's The Boy Who Could Fly, or Young Sherlock Holmes, or Flight of the Navigator. Those kind of really nice family films that aren't offensive in any form of way. And I think that's why I find this so enjoyable, is because it doesn't feel like a John Carpenter movie. It feels like a sort of spiritual sequel to something like Close Encounters of the Third Kind. It has that feel to it, and that's why I really love this movie. And I think it's not really talked about as much when people talk about John Carpenter's filmography, that they really mention Starman much. We always talk about things like The Thing or Escape from New York or The Fog, just the more well-known ones, when something like Starman is a hidden gem of Carpenter's filmography. So that's my number 10. Now, number 9. I know people are going to go, how the fuck could you put that there? It started an entire fucking genre. Number 9 is Halloween. Yeah, it's Halloween. I like Halloween. Don't love it. It is a top 10 movie, but it's not, like, I don't find it higher in the rankings of John Carpenter movies. Yes, for the amount of money that was made for, and introducing the world to Jamie Lee Curtis and Michael Myers. Obviously, I've spoken about Nick Castle being the director of The Last Starfighter and The Boy Who Could Fly. He was the original man behind the mask. He was the original Michael, the Shape, in this. Donald Pleasance is really good. I mean, it's a great movie. It's very tense. It's not overly violent. It says strong threat and violence. It's not really that violent when you really think about it. Most of the horror really does happen off screen, especially with the bit with the babysitter's house where Laurie finds the is it Laurie finds? I can't remember now. But they find the body with the tombstone on the bed and all that jazz. Blah, 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 blah. I like it. I do like it. It's not my favourite Halloween movie, not by a long shot. I respect the hell out of Carpenter for doing this on such a very low budget, and he did essentially create an entire subgenre of horror cinema with Halloween. But it's not my favourite Halloween film. That would be Halloween H2O. I know a lot of people are going to be like, why is Halloween H2O your favourite Halloween movie? Because I'm a kid of the 90s. I was born in the 80s. I grew up in the 90s. I got into horror and slasher movies around the time of the Dimension movies. So things like Halloween H2O, The Faculty, From Dusk Till Dawn, these Dimension Pictures movies that introduced me to horror as a genre. So Halloween H2O was probably the first Halloween film I saw. So going back and back, I mean, there are some poor Halloween movies, but there are some good Halloween movies. This, I'd say, was my second favourite Halloween. No, my third favourite Halloween movie after Halloween 3. I think Halloween 3, obviously, it's got nothing really to do with Halloween, the Michael Myers Halloween. But I think Halloween 3 is probably my second favourite of the franchise. As in Michael Myers, Halloween... This one is my second favourite Michael Myers Halloween movie. Not my first, that would be H2O. Number 8 is a film I really enjoy. And I enjoy it, but I don't enjoy it as much as I enjoy the rest of these films. And I've said that a lot. And it's very hard to rank the filmography of a specific director if you enjoy 99.9% of their output. Now, I love Jamie Lee Curtis. I've loved Jamie Curtis ever since I saw True Lies for the first time in 1994 on a Laserdisc that we saw at my uncle's house. I adore Jamie Lee Curtis. I love the fact that she sticks up for genre filmmaking and genre cinema in general. Wherever she goes, she seems to be incredibly down to earth and stuff. I mean, she's also a great actress. And she's really, really good in The Fog. Even if we had to see her in bed with Tom Atkins. Now, don't get me wrong. I love Tom Atkins. Tom Atkins is a fucking legend. Great in one of my favourite 80s zombie movies, Night of the Creeps. Absolutely fantastic in that. And yeah, so I love Tom Atkins, but The Fog's really creepy. It has a really creepy vibe to it. But now when I watch it, all I think of is SpongeBob SquarePants. I don't know why. I think it's because of the pirates, the ghost pirates and stuff. But I think that adds a lot more fun to the movie. And I do enjoy watching this quite often. Unlike some of the other films, it's not much of a chore to watch. It does zip by quite well. And the film is very atmospheric. Adrian Barbeau is really good in this. Tom Atkins is amazing. Jamie Lee Curtis is amazing. John Houseman, Janet Leigh from Psycho. Jamie Lee Curtis's mother is in this. Who else is in it? Although Tom Atkins is credited as Tommy Atkins, which is quite interesting. And Nancy Loomis. Yes, I do really, really enjoy The Fog. It's got really good cinematography by Dean Cundey as well. Which always helps because Dean Cundey's a very, very good cinematographer. So yeah, number 8, did I say? Number 8 is The Fog. It's a good ghost pirate zombie sort of atmospheric small fishing town, Stephen King-esque type of movie. And yeah, it's fun. Number 7, which is actually a Stephen King movie. It's Christine, John Carpenter's 1983 adaptation, cinematic adaptation of Stephen King's novel Christine, about a 1958 Plymouth Fury. That's what I was reading the back. 1958 Plymouth Fury that is somehow possessed by the devil. There's some stuff in this movie that I've never seen recreated in any other horror movie, and that is specifically the car coming back to life after being crushed, and it's astonishingly well done. A bit like the transformation scene in American Werewolf in London, where it's all done practically, no CGI and everything, but it has that same feel where you can see David's hand growing, or like the nose coming out and stuff. The transformation in that, which I do think is better than the transformation in The Howling, but only by a little bit, because I think The Howling is a very underrated werewolf movie. But we're not talking about werewolf movie. We're talking about cars that come back to life. So I've never seen anything like that since I saw this. And it's got Keith Gordon. Keith Gordon is really good in this. He's great in Brian De Palma's Dress to Kill. That's the Badger. John Stockwell, who went on to become a filmmaker, makes a lot of like lower budget action movies. I think he did like 2 or 3 with Gina Carano. Who else is there? Alexandra Paul from Stephanie from Baywatch. Robert Prosky and Harry Dean Stanton. You don't see Robert Prosky that often. You did. He was more of a character actor, but he's really, really good in this, and he's fantastic in his first role, which was in Michael Mann's Thief back in 1981, I think it was, which was 2 years before this. Just such a good horror film. Like I said, Keith Gordon's transformation from the nerdy to the badass, but also kind of obsessive car owner and stuff, is really good. And it's atmospheric. It's probably one of the better 80s. It is definitely one of the better 80s Stephen King adaptations. Obviously, The Shining is probably top tier Stephen King. But then you had some like smaller shitter ones like Graveyard Shift, and what else was there in the 80s? Maximum Overdrive, which Stephen King actually directed himself, and cannot remember any of it because he was so coked out of his fucking mind that he can't remember actually making that movie. But Christine is my number 7. Yeah, my number 7 pick of John Carpenter's movies. Great movie. I'm going to have a quick drink because I've been talking for half an hour. Right. Number 6 is a great movie. This is such a good film. And I only saw it for the first time maybe about 3 or 4 years ago. And that was because I'd ordered a Chinese... No, I'll find it now because it's over here. So this wasn't available on physical media in many places. So I managed to find a copy of it on eBay from Korea, I believe it is. Yes, Korean. So back in the day when I was buying movies on eBay, this is before I was buying stuff from Germany, Amazon Germany, which the Blu-ray is from. I bought the DVD of this from eBay through a seller who was selling Korean DVDs. I believe they're legit. I'm not 100% sure. I do not know. However, this was the Korean DVD, and I really love the artwork on this. It's In the Mouth of Madness. This is my number 6 pick. This is the Blu-ray. This is the German Blu-ray. It is Die Macht der Wahnsinns, and this movie is so good. It's so good. It's probably top tier John Carpenter in before. This is like his 90s masterpiece. Like, obviously we know he did a lot of great stuff in the 80s, but I'd say after this it kind of started to go downhill quality wise, obviously with Vampires, Village of the Damned, and Ghost of Mars, and what else was there? I think it was just pre-Escape from New York. No, so Escape from LA, sorry. So he did this, then it was Escape from LA, and you can see where the quality started to drop a little bit. But this is a great movie. Sam Neill is utterly fantastic, and you cannot stop watching his performance as my head's gone. What's his name? John Trent, sorry, who is I think is he like a tax investigator who's investigating a missing author by the name of Suter Kane, who is a writer of sort of like H.P. Lovecrafty stroke Stephen King novels, and there's a whole thing of like, is very much influenced by H.P. Lovecraft's work, like Cthulhu and stuff like that, and also Stephen King. Just so good. Like I said, Sam Neill's performance in this is incredible, and you can't stop watching it because he is so good in this. This is literally 2 years after he played Alan Grant in Jurassic Park. This came out, and it's creepy. The visual effects are fantastic. The camera work is amazing. The soundtrack, well, the what they call it, the music by John Carpenter and Jim Lang is really good. It was written by Michael DeLuca, who has written such a fantastic, underrated horror screenplay for Carpenter to direct, and Carpenter's direction on this is on point, 100%. And like I said, I think this is his last great Carpenter masterpiece before it started to decline in quality. And that's not to say that the rest of the films are shit. They're not. They're far from it. But I think he went out on a high. If this was going to be his last movie, this would have been his high point of that decade. Not, obviously, we all know the Thing is his high point. So, number 6. Yeah, number 6 was In the Mouth of Madness. The top 5 was, top 4 was really difficult to nail, to work out. So, number 5 is They Live. It's an action, sci-fi, comedy. What is it? I'll tell you what it is. It's a whole lot of fun. It's such a awesome, unbelievably quotable movie. It's not very long either. It's only 94 minutes. It has one of the greatest fist fights you will ever see on screen between Roddy Piper and Keith David, where Roddy Piper's character, John Nada, is trying to get Keith David's character to put a pair of sunglasses on, which is brilliantly parodied in South Park's Cripple Fight episode, which I think they animated it shot for shot, basically. But it is about a guy, a wandering wanderer named Nada, who shows up in Los Angeles at a work site looking for work as a labourer. And he says he's got his own tools, he's not going to be a problem, he just needs the money, and he'll just crack on. But he meets Keith David's character. What is Keith David's character called? I can't remember now. He meets Keith David's character, and he takes him to sort of camp where all the homeless people are living, and he helps give out food and stuff like that. But he notices something off in a church, just to the side of where the park is, where all the tents and the camps are. People coming in and out with boxes, and he's like, his brain is just like, what the hell's going on here? And so he sneaks into the church and opens one of the boxes and grabs a pair of glasses. And when he puts them on, he can see all the adverts that are on billboards and stuff are just displaying things like obey, consume, just like general dystopic messages to the people below. And when he looks at someone on the street, he might see a human, but then he might look at the person next to them, and that person is an alien. And so he realizes that what is going on is it's a sort of subliminal alien invasion, and the glasses are the only way to differentiate between the two worlds. You've got the bright sort of lights and colour of everyday life. When you put the glasses on, you've got the black and white dystopic vision of an alien invasion. It's fucking genius, and it's such a brilliantly made film, brilliantly written. Like I said, it's not very long, it's only 94 minutes, but so worth your time. Roddy Piper's great in this. Keith David, as always, is fucking amazing. And you've got, who else is in this? Meg Foster with the crazy blue eyes. It was written by Frank Armitage, which is a pseudonym for John Carpenter. For some reason, I don't know why he went under a pseudonym for this, but apparently it's based on a short story, 8 o'clock in the morning, by Ray Nelson. So might have to check that out and see if it's any good. Read the thing. But yeah, this is the 2-disc Blu-ray. I do not have the 4K. But the 2-disc Blu-ray will do me absolutely fine, as I used to own the Scream Factory limited edition Region A Blu-ray I sold. So my number 5 pick is They Live. Now, again, more absurd John Carpenter fun with this next 1986 absolute bonkers fest of a movie, and one of the most fun 80s movies you will ever watch. It's Big Trouble in Little China. Kurt Russell stars as Jack Burton, the driver of the Pork Chop Express, who heads to Little Chinatown in, I'm assuming, New York, and then comes up, or San Francisco, sorry, I think it's San Francisco, and finds himself embroiled in a fight between martial arts wizards and Chinese demon gods looking for a girl with emerald eyes. It's fucking mental. Absolutely mental. Now, the good thing about this is written by a guy called W.D. Richter. And you can tell W.D. Richter's sense of humour and sense of storytelling, because W.D. Richter also wrote and directed Buckaroo Banzai. These two films share very similar themes of being absolutely fucking mental. This is amazing. This is amazing. I believe, I think, and I'm not sure, I think maybe, I might be wrong, but I think John Carpenter may have had something to do with this. I'm not 100% so sure. Obviously, I know that this is W.D. Richter, and there's a deleted scene where Jamie Lee Curtis plays Buckaroo Banzai's mother in a Super 8 sort of home video sort of segment of footage. Peter Weller's amazing in that, by the way. But Big Trouble in Little China is so much fun. You've got Kurt Russell, Kim Cattrall, Dennis Dunn, Victor Wong. I have gone absolutely... What's his name? Plays Lopan. Been in like 100 and something movies. It was in uh, Everything Everywhere All at Once. Oh my god! Oh my god! I have completely lost the fucking plot. I cannot remember his name. This is because I've been talking about movies all night, and because I've been talking about movies all night, I've drawn a fucking blank. Not Victor Wong. It is Wong something. That's going to annoy the fuck out of me. And if I remember while I'm recording this, I'll put his name at the bottom because I'm a nice guy like that. But yeah, Big Trouble in Little China is so fucking good. I love this movie, and I just want to watch it over and over and over because Kurt Russell as Jack Burton is one of, if not his greatest screen character. Number 3. Actually, this is his greatest screen character. Escape from New York as Snake Plissken, a futuristic, dystopian, post-apocalyptic, I guess, action, revenge, rescue, mission, combat movie about a bank robber who has, I think it's 24 hours to locate the president, whose plane, Air Force One, has been shot down or crash landed in Manhattan, which is cut off from the rest of New York City as a sort of being used as a sort of prison, I guess. A lot like the plot in Escape from LA, but he has to rescue the president, or what's attached to the president's wrist, which is the nuclear football, I guess. It's just so good. I watched it the other night again. I fucking love this movie. This is the normal Blu-ray. This is not the 4K. This is a remaster, brand new restoration by Studio Canal, and it looks incredible. It actually does. The scene where he gets into the glider when he's first sent to New York, the green and the reds neon colours that pop against the black background and show Kurt Russell's face, which is sort of like sort of pinky purple from the beams of the neon reds inside the cockpit, just look incredible. And I've never seen it that clear, and I fucking thoroughly enjoyed that movie. Well, this movie. And yeah, I can watch this over and over and over. That's why it is my number 3 John Carpenter movie. And it's Escape from New York. If you don't like Escape from New York, there's something wrong with you. Number 2 is, technically, I guess this is John Carpenter's first proper movie post Dark Star, which I guess was a student film that was given financing to create a feature film. But like I said, it's still quite amateurish. Dark Star, if you didn't know, was co-written by Dan O'Bannon, who created the Alien movies. This, yeah, I'd say it's probably his film debut as a fully financed from start to finish filmmaker, and it's so good. I don't think it gets enough credit for being as good as it really is. It's Escape. No, it's not. It's Assault on Precinct 13. I almost fucked that up. Assault on Precinct 13. This is a siege movie, which is essentially a remake of Rio Bravo. I think it's Rio Bravo. A John Wayne Western about a group of sheriffs. Well, a sheriff and his deputy being held at bay in their sheriff's office by a group of outlaws who want someone that they've got inside the prison. This is essentially a sort of modern day remake of, not remake, it's a sort of modern day, it's a remake of that film, but in a modern setting, the modern setting of like 1976. But it's Austin Stoker is in this. He plays the main character, who is a police officer that has been sent to check on the Precinct 13 department, which is closing down, and he's just there to oversee that it all goes smoothly. But there is a bus en route to prison that has some issues. I think there's a sick person on the bus, and the nearest prison, well, I say the nearest prison, the nearest police station is Precinct 13. And while they are the bus then finds itself at the police station, where they take the prisoners into the cells at the bottom of the base of the basement, I guess. But it's then like a man whose daughter is shot. I think it's that. I think it's the daughter who's shot, or something happens, and some guy who's being chased by the outlaws, or the gang, makes it to the precinct, or to the police station. So the gang want to kill that man. So they basically put a sort of siege on this police station. It's kind of like it's a sort of. I know I'm rambling now because it's late and I've talked quite a bit. It's sort of a cross between a Western and Night of the Living Dead, and is beautifully sort of that. Those two ideas are beautifully put together. It has some strong performances, definitely by Austin Stoker as the main police officer, and you also have Tony Burton, who, if you don't know who Tony Burton is, watch the Rocky movies. He is Apollo's trainer. He's the black guy with the bald head. He's in pretty much all of the Rocky movies, even Rocky Balboa. And he sadly passed away a couple of years ago. But he is one of the prisoners that is put into the prison. There is another guy as well whose character, I think, is called Napoleon Solo. Is it Napoleon Solo, or is that the guy from Man from U.N.C.L.E.? I can't remember, but he's another hardened criminal who kind of has a change of heart and sort of redeems himself in the movie. It's just so good, and it's so tense. It's the music by John Carpenter is so good, and I can like Escape from New York. I can watch this over and over again and never get bored of Assault on Precinct 13. This is, I don't know where this is from. I think it's, I don't know the writing. It looks sort of like Norwegian or something. I'm not sure. Again, this was an eBay purchase. I do not know where this is from. It might be Finnish. I'm not sure, but I want to get the Second Sight UK release. But I hate the artwork that is on that case. But I know it's a British, it's a new restoration, so I want to get it. So Assault on Precinct 13 is my number 2 ranking for John Carpenter's filmography. And obviously number 1, because it hasn't come up yet, and I'm wearing the t-shirt, is John Carpenter's 1982 masterpiece of science fiction, cosmic, gore-fest horror movie awesomeness, is The Thing. I'm not going to talk too much about The Thing, because I've spoken about how much I love this movie in multiple different videos. In fact, it's in my top 25 movies. I think it's in the top 10. I cannot remember, because I know I only shot that like a couple of days ago. But The Thing is so good. You've got Richard Basehart, you've got Wilfred Brimley, you've got Keith David, you've got the dude from The Thing. Not it is The Thing. The dude from It. The original It. Fuck, what's his name? He's also in Shoot to Kill, or aka Pursued? Shoot to Kill. It's the Tom Berenger movie with Sidney Poitier where they go on the hunt and Mr. Krabs is in it and stuff. But yeah, I know I haven't mentioned Kurt Russell because Kurt Russell's in pretty much every like late 70s, early 80s John Carpenter movie. That's another film I don't have, which I do believe I have on DVD, which is Carpenter's TV movie Elvis, which I think I've got on DVD, which is in storage somewhere. I do have that. I think it's next to the Buddy Holly story with Gary Busey. If you guys watch me, you guys know what The Thing is. You have seen The Thing. You know that The Thing is fucking amazing. And like I said, I'm wearing the Thing t-shirt. And yeah, it's just an incredible movie. Visual effects, the practical monster effects by Rob Bottin in this movie are just mind-blowing. How a 23-year-old was able to come up and devise ways of scaring the shit out of people with puppets and goop and stuff. It's a shame that he no longer works in the industry because like his stuff is phenomenal. I think personally, and I think a lot of people would probably say this as well, is that The Thing is probably the peak. Like it sets the bar. It's the peak of practical visual effects in movies. I know you could say something like Aliens has a lot of like peak level practical effects, especially the Stan Winston stuff. That like obviously the Alien Queen, again big puppets, but it's just so good. Like with the fucking defibrillator and the chopping off the hands and then the head coming off and sprouting the legs, and then you got the dogs at the beginning, and then it's just so fucking good. But what really makes this work more than the gore and stuff is the sense of paranoia and the atmosphere of dread that you kind of get that is built up throughout from basically moment one. As soon as you see the dog running across the snow towards the base camp with the helicopter chasing them, you know there's something's not right with this. But it's all set to like such an amazing, almost synth-like Ennio Morricone score, which you don't normally hear synth-ish scores from Ennio Morricone, because he was more of an orchestral composer, a bit like Nino Rota or like John Williams, obviously. But this is so good. I love this movie. I love this movie so much. I think it was in my top 10 movies of all time. I think it was number... I can't remember now. But it was in the top 10. So, that is my ranking of John Carpenter's movies. At number 16, we had The Ward. It's not good. Number 15, Village of the Damned. Number 14, Vampires. Number 15, Ghosts of Mars. Number 13... I think was... What did I say was number 13? Escape from LA? Number 12, Prince of Darkness. Number 11, Halloween. Number 10... Well, you just watched the video, so you know what my ranking is. But I will put it up on the screen somewhere for people to read. I told whoever it was who asked for a long one, I said there's a long one coming. This is the long one. This is the ranking of John Carpenter's filmography. If you really enjoyed this video, I know again, like I said, it's long. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see me rank other filmmakers' filmographies, just pop in the comments who you'd like to see me rank, or who you'd like to see me just even do it like a bit of a mini retrospective of. And I'd be happy to accommodate your requests. So thanks everyone for watching. This is the PEDRO'S movie cabin. The hat stays until I sort my hair out. Do you want to see how bad my hair is? That's how bad my hair is. I need to get it sorted. because my hairline is receding faster every day. So the hat stays until the hair is cut. And I did do the beard, but it's going grey. So yeah, thanks everyone for watching. As usual, cheers. Give us a like. If you want to subscribe, you can. Don't hit the notification button because I'm not consistent. As in, like, I don't have a release schedule. I mean, I've done 3 videos this week. I might not do one next week. I don't know. It depends on whether or not I have the time. It all depends on whether or not I feel up to it. But thank you all for watching my videos and subscribing and commenting. They mean a lot to me. So yeah, cheers. As usual, throw up the peace sign. Give you a salute. Hey, I'm out. Cheers.